A couple days ago, I was browsing Netflix's many horror movies, and I came across a movie called Starry Eyes, which was released in 2014. And it's about a young woman, Sarah, who is trying to be an actress, and she basically wants to do anything in order to be an actress. Like, she just really wants to succeed. And I thought it was an interesting concept overall. It was it didn't sound too original at first, but then watching it, you're like, yeah, this is pretty original, especially with the cult aspect, which the Netflix description didn't mention anything about that, but it kind of reminded me of American Mary, Black Swan, and Nightcrawler, which are all movies about the main character trying to reach perfection in one way or another, and I thought it was just really interesting. Um, I feel like this movie too did have believable characters, and the main character, Sarah, was kind of relatable since most people are trying to be successful, even though she took it to obviously an extreme. But since she is trying to be an actress, sometimes you do have to take it to the extreme in order to be noticed, and I feel like this film really touched on that. I thought it said something about how some filmmakers abuse their power over their actors and actresses too, and how some filmmakers push them over the edge to get the best performance. It's also a really relevant topic today, even though it was made 3 or 4 years ago, regarding just like the film industry and all the sexual assault stuff coming out. I thought it was super interesting. It was from a couple of years ago, which isn't super far ago, but it was still before the whole like revolution thing came to be now. The last 30 minutes took a different turn. Like I said, was not expecting the cult aspect, but I was reading up on other descriptions from other websites. Like, even just Googling it, it said something about a cult, and I was like, oh. But I'm glad I didn't know about that aspect, because I just thought, like, the last 30 minutes, I was like, wow, where is this gonna go? Like, I wasn't expecting it at all. And I kind of felt bad for her friends. I'm not gonna go too into it because I don't want to spoil it, but I kind of felt bad for most of her friends except that one girl. You know who I'm talking about if you watched it. The ending, yeah, like I said, I didn't see the ending coming, and usually I have expectations or I can guess the ending of Netflix horror movies or some movies in general. Like, I'm just like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen, and then it does. I'm not bragging or anything, like, it's just, I don't know. But I didn't know how it was gonna end with this. Like I said, didn't know the cult aspect. But even though it did turn into a cult film slash supernatural, I did really enjoy it. And sometimes the supernatural movies are kind of eh, but this one was pretty good, and it's definitely worth checking out since it's readily available on Netflix. And like I said with the previous movie recommendations, it was definitely a descent into madness type film, and I feel like those are just always super interesting if they're done well, instead of like, hey, this person's actually crazy. Like, no, this person has something else going on that made them kind of go crazy, if you know what I mean. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this film, if you liked it, if you hated it, if you would watch it again, if you think it's good like I said and it wasn't that predictable, if you also didn't know about the cult ending. I forgot to mention that the Women in Horror series is pretty simple, but I'm just going to be talking about horror movies that have women as main characters, and they might talk about women's struggles, etc.